What number am I thinking of between 66 and 88? 79 was that number in AGM chess. You got it. And I have learned that I need to go faster against this guy. He's giving me too many beatings. Here we go. Game 1. Let's try... I'm going to go with this again. Let's try C4. And I think I'm going to try and get that setup in that I did, like an accelerated form of a Botvinnik system. Okay, well, I guess we're entering a different territory now. Black is throwing that pawn up there, huh? Okay, let's just get some development in. And I think I might want to do something different here. I don't want to play e3. I don't want to bring my knight out and get into this pawn takes a4 variation. I'm going to do something that's atypical. I don't know how good it is, but a little bit of experimentation, I guess. Now let's bring the knight out. I'm okay with the queen trade. I'll look for play along the a file from here. So the main reason behind this is that I wanted my queen to just watch over c4. And what I'd like to do is have my bishop outside of the pawn chain and then follow up with e3. Okay, now there is one... Well, hang on. I don't have to worry about this bishop over here anymore, do I? If I bring my bishop out, this is something I can recall doing over the board in a blitz game. Bringing my bishop out, and then after pawn takes, I can't recapture with my queen as easily, because b2 would hang. So I think throwing a question to the queen first is best. And I'm really happy about the fact that this bishop is still struggling to do something. He usually is deployed first, f5, g4. If this bishop was out here to one of these two squares, bishop f4 would be available. Now it's not. Could actually play to f4 if this bishop was on one of these two. Bishop f4, if queen takes, you get on b7 and then the rook. And now just completing my development. I wonder if I should hang on for a second. What do I mean by hang on? I think what I'm about to do might look very weird. I'm going to do it though. Can you figure out the reason for this? Why did I go home with my queen? Why would I ever dare to just go home like that? Anybody know? I don't know if I want to share it. Maybe you could do some of the maybe you could figure out some of the stuff. Why would I go all the way home there? Main reason, I wanted to make sure I could keep this pawn on c5. I wanted to have my rook defended so that when b4 comes and a5 comes, I could play a3. My rook is defended. The queen drops back to the home square to defend a1. This is a purposeful idea when you look at the good bad bishop situation. He's considered the bad guy. Capture towards the center unless I have a good reason not to. I don't believe I have a good reason not to. To take or not to take. I'm going to take. I can't avoid the light square bishop exchange, so I want to make sure that this rook is inconvenienced. And next, I think I want to throw a question to the queen. And I want to, well, I was going to play h3 to stop knight here, but my queen is there to watch over. And I think if my opponent isn't able to pivot on this square, it becomes quite difficult. If the queen goes to b7, I just hit the queen with rook to b1. There might be some potential sacrifice on c5. Let's castle. Can I really do without castling? I don't think so. Whoa. Okay, that's supported now, this knight move, so let's drop back. I don't want to deal with that. Okay, that's coming. Let's go here. I don't think that there's a better square. Want to get rook b7. The king is going to be quite vulnerable. I think I do best to just get on that right away. Rook has to be very annoying. If queen c8, queen b3, there might even be some tactical shots on this square. But what might be even more active is queen g4 and I think I'm going to run forward with that. My queen is running a little bit short on squares, but okay, I'm hitting the knight. I have a checking square here. This rook, my opponent is playing without a rook. Time situation, surprisingly enough, I am the one who is ahead. If there is a couple captures on this square, my knight is there to recapture. My queen is hit. Throw that check in there. And actually I could take on this square. My queen is not in any danger, so now let me take here. I don't see any problem with that. Oh, actually, I was thinking if the knight could eventually move here and attack my queen, she might be trapped, but keep in mind the bishop can maybe be taken. However, rook here would be defending the bishop, and then knight here would be threatening to trap my queen. Is that a problem? Okay, it might be a problem here. Problem city. Do I have to do this move and run away with my queen to h3 if the knight plays here? I might have to do that. No. No, I wouldn't have to do that. Knight here, I'd come to this square. I'm not afraid. Should I be? It's double rooks. 217, knight there, I play back here in a pin. If the knight goes back to d7, I can make use of c7. So I'm up a pawn, I have all my pieces, or at least my heavy pieces are working. Keep this knight in a pin. Knight back here, queen here, I'm perfectly okay with queen trades. Okay, are we going to have a queen trade? Okay, so position is simplifying, and I think my opponent is now going to be dropping this guy. Okay, let me just double check here. Knight is ready to play here, fork these two pieces, but double up. If the bishop moves, I get the rook. If the bishop doesn't move, I capture it. Can the bishop be defended? Yes, the knight has to go back, but I'm fine with that if he has to go home. I think I just throw in a check. Or no, I attack the pinned piece again. Attack that pinned piece. So now I am going to be winning what exactly? 2 minor pieces for the rook at the very least? Was there maybe something better? Alright, I take here. I really don't want to go into that imbalanced position. Chop, 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 chop. That rook gets too active. I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go into an unbalanced position. So let's stay active here. Bishop takes. I take the rook first. 124. Check. And now I want my knight right here. I could maybe even just capture here twice. It's a little bit more tricky than I would have liked, actually. Get my knight working. Could have also thought about bringing my other knight, the one who is further back, the one that's on the second rank instead of the third. Both would be eyeing this square. This rook is still stuck. He's passed, but it's not so easy to get him rolling. My knight would come here with tempo. That's a nice thing. Let's get my other knight working. King here. Deadly forks. Pick my favorite one. Let's go with this one. Does it really matter? Well, I'm on the rook. Oh, I could do this too. Get my rook back to the 7th. That might be lights out. Is that a lights out move? Close to it. Minute 3 to 32. Knight here. I think I gobble up another pawn. Get another pawn. Ah, one of those. Tricky knights, though. Who is going to have the trickier knight is the big question. Who's going to have the trickier knight? Run, pawn. Run because you're fast and passed. Whoa, why'd I miss that? 2 passed pawns. That's got to be good. That's got to be good. What's my king doing? What's my king doing? Okay. Let's get rolling, king. This is a nice shield. There's probably something better I could have done. Yeah, okay, I want to hang on to both pawns still. I don't want the king to go there. So I'm still cutting off the king. I'm okay with knight trades. I'll just attack pawns. Go after these guys. There's not much time. They're in time. Now run with the other guys quickly, and hopefully they can't be caught. I don't believe so. Okay. Resign. Okay, good game, AGM. Let's go back. Let's flip this board. And okay, what to even say about this? I'm not sure about the decision to block in the bishop with e6. These are some quick things that I think about. Well, then again, you have to do something about this, don't you? Maybe it is okay. But if you are going to hem in your bishop like this, maybe it's important to strike at this pawn before my rook is defended. Maybe that would be a better thing to do instead of bishop e7, or maybe at this point, because I still can't support this. So maybe a timely b6, and then I believe I'm having to capture. And then you recapture a different pawn structure, really a different game. So consider b6 at this point, I think. So early on, there was a potential for structural change. Again, we got to see why I did that exactly. You grab some space, but I still have this bad bishop outside the pawn chain, so can't be so bad. Typical attempt at trying to break things down. And I wonder if it would have been better to have both A and B file opened up. Now, I think how you did it is good, because you do want to get this move in. And it would be much more difficult to do that if this rook was controlling a6. So I think the decision to take on c5 is maybe a good one. Captured, chased your queen around. Your knight ends up getting sidelined there, but it's to get the f5 advance in as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's coming back to that b6 move, the timely b6 move before I drop my queen back to d1. I think it's safe to say that I'm the better side at this point. Rook out of play, I have control over the b file, I make it inconvenient for you to even contest it. I have two knights around still supporting the center, putting pressure on your center, and I think maybe there were even points where I could have sacrificed. I'm not so sure, and maybe gotten this pawn running. Some concrete line would have maybe been in my favor. I'm not so sure. I'm quite active at this point, so yeah, I think it's dating all the way back to b6. Changing the structure instead of the routine developing knight here. I think b6 is turning into a much different game, and maybe you're the one who becomes the better side. You have play for your rook at the very least. Okay, just some quick points. Thank you, AGM Chess.